Yeah.
Great. So, do you guys want me to start? I can just talk about like a few challenges that I faced when doing the data
Hmm.
course. So, I think the most important thing for me was that the learning pace was a bit, um, it was good that you could set the pace yourself. That was a good part. But I thought maybe I would benefit from having more exercises per each new thing that I learned, if that makes sense. So I think I would want to have more practice. I know it's a short course, and that's kind of like the purpose of it, but I think sometimes I would just do something right and then I would go to another level, but I never like learned how I did that. So I think in that sense, I think the learning pace was a bit quick. So yeah, that was kind of like a thing that I thought of often. And then it was also a bit hard to like kind of see the long-term value of the course because it was such a small bit of Python and it was like hard to see the application of these things that I learned right now when people are like so into Python that they like create apps and everything with it, and I'm just learning this much and I'm struggling so much with it too. So it was hard to see how I can possibly like do anything with this knowledge. But I think like if we're talking about like more practical challenges, like in the course, I think like tool familiarity, like that bit, the in the last part of the course when they introduced NumPy, I was like, oh my God,
Hmm.
there's more. So that was kind of like it was good to see that there's so much more to Python on one hand, but like it was I don't know, I felt a bit overwhelmed, especially when you had to start like downloading libraries. And I was like, oh my God, I don't know how to do that if it's not on this platform. Like, how do I do that? And finally, the last thing that I had is like from the beginning, I was like very worried about like understanding syntaxes and like words that they use and like jargon, or it's not even jargon, it's just like syntaxes of Python. Like uh, I don't really know what it means when I get an error sometimes, and the error message sometimes is so confusing that if it wasn't for the AI chatbot, I'd probably like never pick up Python again. So yeah, and also like all the concepts of like loops, data structures, they were also a bit confusing, and I wish instead of videos or like in addition to videos, we also had like a dictionary or like a vocabulary explaining thingy that we can like refer to at any point. So that's pretty much it. But overall, like that was like the most like prominent things that I picked up on just now when I was making my notes. So yeah, I think for challenges, that's it for me. Like it was a good course, but obviously everything has its ups and downs. So what about you guys? What did you find challenging?
Even I thought like grasping how to write even the basic functions was
Yeah.
a bit difficult at first, but then when we had those activities and exercises after each, I guess each chapter or each like one module, we had some exercises related to that. So that was very helpful. And of course, the AI chatbot was helpful because after doing like two, three activities, I I was getting syntax error a lot, and that really helped me to understand like what mistake I was
Yeah.
making, and then learning how to import and use the packages like the NumPy. So it was a bit difficult at first, but then after regularly seeing the solutions and then practicing it by myself really helped. And it also took a bit of time to understand like how the variables actually work, and because even when we assign numbers, so it starts with zero, not with
Hmm.
one. So I always
Yeah.
used to forget that, and that would give me syntax errors. So
Yeah.
yeah, like by doing activities I picked up on that, and then figuring out like how various functions within the like within a code would work, because each has different functions, and then each module introduced a different one. So I always used to forget what I learned in the first module, because even if I make the mistake of putting the bracket wrong, it would give me syntax error. So yeah, that was really difficult, but then learning like how to understand the whole concept was a bit challenging because I don't have a background in this, and there are people who even they see it for once they'll remember.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a bit challenging, but then yeah, it is very like it, we can see the modules when we want to, and it's not that we if we sit now we have to complete it. And it also introduces a solid foundation in Python, the basics.
Hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with everything you said now. I think it's pretty much a common experience. What do you guys think? Did you
Yeah.
have the same problems or?
For my part, I didn't have much problem in that area because I had a background. But
Oh, yeah, of course.
the structural problem here was they tried to let's say give the basics too fast and uh, try to progress to the NumPy part as fast as possible.
Hmm.
I think that was the course structure, and um, they didn't even told important things like list compression, which is if learned, if showed in the course, I think which will contribute to everyone's journey greatly. But they didn't even mention that. I also see there they didn't even talk about like loops or conditionals like if or while. There
Hmm.
wasn't anything like that in the course. Even the basics of Python were like haven't given completely, and some important parts have been passed. So when I am looking from a perspective of a person who hasn't got any prior knowledge of coding or Python, I think it would create some challenges for such persons. Uh, yeah, and that was pretty much all I can say about challenges of the discourse.
Yeah, yeah, I think it must be like a very different experience for me and Kritika who've never had like a fast in coding, I guess. And then for you who actually can point out like technical mistakes that they make, like not introducing to us to important concepts. But like I didn't notice that because I don't know what the important concepts are. So I'm just like complaining about structure maybe, but like you're actually pointing out to what we need to learn as like beginners in Python. So Sarah, do you have any experience in coding too?
Uh, I no, I don't have the coding experience. That's what I want to say.
Hmm.
First of all, for me, DataCamp offers a variety of course ranging from the beginners to
Hmm.
advanced levels. That is good because I can learn something according to my own experience. But during my practice sessions, when I try to practice some Python code, I can only see whether the results are correct,
Hmm.
uh, but cannot see how the code actually runs,
Yeah.
right? So sometimes I will feel a little bit confused,
Hmm.
because I want to see the real result, not
Hmm.
only the answer.
Yeah.
And additionally, for some complex topics, because I don't have the coding background as well,
Hmm.
so I might need a deeper understanding. But there is not more detailed explanation provided. Just
Hmm.
maybe 3 or 5 minutes videos. I
Yeah.
don't think it's enough for us.
Hmm.
So. mm, this can make it difficult
Hmm.
to grasp when I am planning applying it in practice. So that's my challenge.
Yeah.
I need to I need to use more time to find something else I want to really understand it.
Mm, yeah. I think I like struggled a bit with the video format because I learn best when I see stuff written down and like just hearing it and then like only remembering that thing that they
Now,
just said now. I was just struggling a bit with not having an example written down in front of me. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
sometimes we can complete the practice based on the video.
Yeah.
But actually, sometimes I didn't really understand what it
Yeah. Same.
is, and I cannot write a real code after practice, after
Mhm.
learning. I think that is the challenge.
Yeah. Yeah, it was exactly the same for me. So I think the three of us here who didn't have the experience in Python previously, we all struggled with like similar things. And I think it all comes down to like understanding of what we're doing in the moment. Because sometimes you just do something and then you're like, wait, why did that work? Like I need more, I need an explanation of why that was correct or something. So, and you, Merit, said that like more tools should be introduced, more like integral things should be introduced in that course as well. So yeah, I think we kind of had like a similar experience in that. But what about the benefits? What did you guys like? And Kritika, what about you?
I mean, like the exercises that we did, and then being able to actually write like a multi-step function, because there was one activity, I think we were given the areas of different rooms.
Hmm.
So after that, I guess 3, 4, or 5 activities were based on that itself.
Hmm.
So yeah, like writing the multi-step functions and then demonstrating that even I could like structurally code and logically apply that, and then learning to read and understand the documentation, even though we didn't have the examples, but the code where it actually used to run, and then below that we had the slides that we can mention refer to.
Hmm.
So yeah, but then also like some of the courses, it's really short to understand. Like it's only like 5, 6 minutes for just one function, but I think it fits a bit longer. It would be much beneficial for us, like those who are just starting to learn this course. So yeah, and even like the course is like defining the functions, and it also use the built-in functions and more complex topics. I mean, what I think, because I don't really know what are the topics that we should study. And then also there was a clear guidance on the functions that were used and the understanding Python syntax, because I, for one code, I got like 5 to 6 times the same syntax error. So for me, it was much easier to understand it after 5, 6 times and
Hmm.
actually what mistake was I
Yeah.
making.
Yeah. Sarah, what about you?
I just through the study, um, I finally can understand what the Python is.
Yeah.
So only can understand this. I cannot be a programmer or some else roles in the real job.
Hmm.
But actually, I know what is the Python, and I know what are included
Hmm.
in the Python structure. So that is what the only benefit for me.
Yeah. Marriage, was anything in the course
Uh,
actually like good for you? Because you had experience in Python, so I imagine it must have been like pretty boring for you to do that. Did you actually have any advantages in doing
yeah.
that?
Actually, it was like a refresher for me. So
Mm.
I also benefited. I can say it didn't have any benefits for me, but for what I liked most about this course, actually, it was this interactive try it yourself parts
Hmm.
were the parts I liked it most. And the video parts actually were boring for me, so I ended up skipping to
Yeah.
the end of these videos.
Yeah.
And I wish also returning to the challenges, I want to add another thing.
Mm.
I think they had relied on this video part too much, and it
Mm.
also it might make this course much more boring for any other people. Uh,
Hmm.
so I think if they could introduce, these small bits of exercises getting much complex and much more complete as they progressed. Instead of this huge video section,
Mhm.
I think everyone could benefit more from this course.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it could be, less boring, and also you could have, more explanation.
Mhm.
And on the coding part, I think they could introduce a system in which shows exactly on which line you had the mistake, highlighting the mistake.
Mhm.
So it would, help Kritika on her part on her problems. I also returning to the what I liked about this course. Actually, I like that NumPy have introduced to you, because NumPy is such a central piece of AI and such domains,
Mhm.
and it's an important library. Actually, it's an important technology. So I was happy that they have, you know, allocated an entire section for NumPy. But returning to the challenges, the problem with some the problem with NumPy part is actually they didn't told you, they didn't show you exactly how you are going to install the NumPy in your computer.
Yeah, they
So
didn't. Yeah.
yeah, actually, I think they could do a, a virtual console, a virtual terminal, so you
Mhm.
could enter the uh, scripts and commands to install the NumPy onto your computer.
Mm.
So
Yeah, I
and
think that's a
you
great
could
idea because
benefit.
honestly, like that was one of the things that I thought as well. Um, like I know that we're trying to code just from the beginning, but like I can only imagine coding in this platform in DataCamp because they didn't really show us how to do it anywhere else, I guess, if that makes sense. And same thing with like different libraries. Like they didn't really show how to install them into our laptop, so it's like, are we only going to be able to use them here on DataCamp? That's funny. Yeah.
Okay. Uh, and instead of showing us their, brushing it off, like you are going to enter PIP something, but when it comes to the real life, probably most of the people who seen this line written on the data camp will get confused.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I agree with you on this. I
Yeah.
agree with you.
I think if we're like still talking about benefits, for me, the most like the best thing that I picked up from all of this course is how helpful an AI chatbot, like the help bot that they had there, can be. Like every time I would make a mistake that I did not understand, like I was looking at the error message and I was like, what did I do wrong? And I was like, there's no way that I can understand it myself, like because I typed it in, so there's no way that I'm finding the mistake that I just made myself. And then I was like, oh my God, there's an AI bot, and it's actually like it worked so well. Like I swear I wouldn't be able to like get past some things if not for the AI bot, because it was like it explained it and then it like showed you how to fix it too. So I guess it was a bit of a cheat code, but like it worked and I ended up like completing the course because otherwise I think I might not have, like honestly. But yeah, that was like a big plus for me. Then I guess it's also like the beginner friendly language. I think that was kind of like their thing, that they don't scare you off with like scary words or anything. But yeah, that was, I guess, good. And they keep like reminding us that we're beginners in the videos. They were like, so of course it's a beginner, or like, so you guys are beginners, so that's the easy version or whatever. So I guess they kept it in mind, which I appreciated, but like I don't know. Yeah, so the beginner friendly language was good. I think that wasn't super confusing.
Mhm.
Then accessibility also, like I did this course out of every possible location, and it was fine. Like I did it out of the library, out of my house, out of college, like on a beach one day. Like it was good. Like I like that part, and it really like it didn't depress me to only do it in a classroom or like only do it in an office. Like I didn't really think of it as work, more as a new hobby that I'm picking up, if that makes sense. So I think that helped me a little bit. Um, and I think, yeah, I agree with all of you guys. Like that's pretty much my thoughts as well. Like the course was okay for an introductory course. I think I might even like do something with Python after. Like I want to learn more. Like I don't know. I think it could be fun and I'm not super scared of it now because I used to be like, "Oh my God, that's like a whole new world that it's too complicated for me to kind of penetrate it." But like now I kind of see that there is a chance. There is a chance.
Yeah, just this is a beginner course, so then the next step would be to maybe do a little more advanced than this and
Mm,
learn new functions. And also about the accessibility, we have the mobile app as well. So
yeah.
if we don't have access to our laptops, we can do it on our phone. So that's really convenient for us.
Yeah. So it doesn't feel like work. So
Yeah,
I appreciate it because my brain sometimes,
yeah,
if it gets too complicated or too hard or too
mm,
official, I'm just clocking out. Like I don't want to do it anymore. But this time it was like not a problem at all. So,
Sometimes like play game, just I
oh
can
yeah,
complete
yeah.
that,
yeah,
then I can continue study
Mhm.
anytime and anywhere, use any
Yeah,
device.
yeah.
and
Yeah,
also
that
the
was like
exercise.
the
Yeah,
gamified format. Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah, the activities were a bit engaging because when I first started the course, I didn't even realize like when I completed the first chapter, like all of the
Yeah,
modules, like it was so fast for us.
yeah.
And it's not like I don't remember stuff. I also remember what I learned. So that was really quick for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally same. I think like the gamified version of the course is like it's really good.
Yeah.
You get little rewards and you kind of
Mm.
just treat it as levels, which they are, I guess. So that was pretty
Yeah.
fun, I think.
and sometimes we can get the experience point, and if I give the wrong answer, it
Hmm.
will minus my experience if I want
Yeah.
to see the
Yeah.
correct answer.
Hmm. Yeah.
Actually, at the weekend, I just use maybe 20 minutes or 30 minutes in one question. I cannot find
Oh my God.
which point I was false.
Mhm.
And I don't want to click the right answer because it will minus my experience
Yeah,
point.
Yeah.
I know. It's yeah, it's very addictive to keep the points going and everything and like the streak.
Yeah.
And that was pretty fun too. So I think like overall we all liked it, but like there are obviously things for them to work out.
Yeah.
Mostly what Marish said about like the structure of the course. And I think yeah, I was like happy enough with the course because it's obviously an introduction to Python, so it
Mhm.
doesn't promise you to for you to learn how to code overnight or anything. It's like a decent enough introduction, I think. They obviously have stuff to work out, but I think it didn't scare me off, and that's already like
Mhm.
a big thing.
Yeah, they made it engaging for us to learn back
Yeah,
then.
yeah, that's definitely true. Anyone want said
Yeah.
anything? Like, just any last thoughts? Okay,
No.
good, great. Um,